Welcome to the Think Tank with Martin Spencer Space. A revolution is coming. Yes, a revolution is coming. And it's called 5G. You know, we used to have 1G, then we had 2G, then we had 3G, then we had 4G, and now 5G, the Internet of Things. So what is 1G? 1G was the rotary phone. You know, you had to be home for me to call you. You could not, if you weren't home, you had to have an answering service. Then there was 2G, was pages, what doctors used to have, and it was a status symbol. Everybody wanted to have a pager, including me. It gave you a sense of status. Then there was 3G, texting. Texting became such a phenomenon that families in the same home would text each other because it was such a phenomenon. No one spoke to each other. Kids always text next door, wherever you were. Then there was 4G. 4G was FaceTime. FaceTime became popular several years ago, and everything was FaceTime. Everybody was FaceTime. And now we got 5G. 5G, the revolution. The revolution is here. And what is 5G? It's the Internet of Things, where everything is connected. When I say everything, I mean everything. Cars speak to each other. There will be no accidents in the future, or very, very few. And consequently, insurance rates will drop. Insurance companies will merge. Jobs will be lost. It's going to be a crazy world. Your appliances will talk to each other. Your dishwasher will talk to your clothes dryer. Your microwave will talk to your stove and talk to your refrigerator. People, it is not far-fetched. It's called the Internet of Things. But along with 5G comes two things that are deadly to us. EMFs and RF, electromagnetic frequencies and radio frequencies. Take, for example, in a home, a router. A router has 30 megahertz. You know what 5G is? 5G is 1,000 times the strength of a router in a regular home. Can you imagine the amount of EMFs and RFs that are emitted? We'll talk about that later. But let me give you the bad side of 5G. I told you about the good side, Internet of Things. But there's also a bad side. And here's the bad side. Every cell in our body, including our nervous system, is electric. And 5G affects us at a DNA level. It does what you call DNA degradation. It harms us from the inside out. It causes headaches, tinnitus, which is ringing of the air, fatigue, severe fatigue, infertility. You remember that laptop I told you to get off your lap? Yes, if you put the laptop on your lap, it does affect men with infertility. It's been proven. There have been cases of homelessness because of the consequence of EMF and RF. Trust me, even suicide. There's a case of a gentleman who was having severe headaches when he moved into his apartment complex. He got to the point where he couldn't sleep. He had tinnitus, it was very, very bad. He had headaches, fatigue. He couldn't even go to work. He was tired all the time. He went to doctor after doctor after doctor. Finally, one good doctor was able to diagnose him after a barrage of questions and tests that he was susceptible to the EMF and RFs in his house. You know what? His apartment complex had just installed, guess what? A smart meter. Yes, a smart meter. And that affected him to the degree where he was almost homeless and suicidal. He was recommended to find another place to live in the countryside where there was no RFF, no radio frequencies, to a minimum. And you know what? He got better. Everything went away. So the science kept moving on, and it's been said that the more you try, the more you fail. But you know what? He was not going to fail. He kept trying, and he solved his problem. So how do we protect ourselves from EMF and RFs, radio frequencies? One, at nights, you know how we go to bed and we put our cell phone by our nightstand? Put it on airplane mode. So it stops the Wi-Fi from coming in and consequently stops the EMF and RF from coming through your phone system. Do you know EMFs and MF, especially with babies, penetrate their little soft skull 2 to 3 inches into their head, and it affects their growth. In adults, because we are adult and our skulls are mature, it affects us by going only about ½ an inch. But that in itself, to some people, is so deadly. The other way to protect yourself is to run Ethernet cables. Yes, Ethernet cables to all of your laptops and hard drives in your home. So that eliminates a lot of EMFs and RFs. Sometimes it's difficult to have your phone and run an Ethernet. Although right now there's little appliances that you can plug in, and it gives your phone Ethernet connection rather than Wi-Fi. Opt out of smart meters if you can. Sometimes the electric companies will ask you if you want a smart meter. They don't even ask you. They just put them in. And that is so bad. But it's a world that we live in. Protect yourself, know the rules, know how to maneuver. It's not going to affect us now. The cigarette factory knew, the cigarette manufacturers knew 20, 30 years ago that smoking of cigarettes was harmful to the human body. But you know what? They did not produce the data. They hid the data from all of us. The lobbyists lied and said that there was no harm for smoking of cigarettes. And 30 years later, the results were deadly. That's the same thing that's going to happen to us with the EMF and RFs. There's a good doctor called Dr. Joseph McCullough. He wrote a book called EMF, EMF''D. Dr. Joseph McCullough, researcher. I bought the book, and it's about 300 pages, and the data is overwhelming, okay? The government knows of the consequences of radio frequency EMF and RF, and they're doing nothing on it because it's about economics. It's about the almighty dollar. They don't care about who we are and what's wrong with it. It's all about money. It is said that the coming 5G revolution is going to create 3 million jobs in the United States. It's a $560 billion, you hear me, not with an M, with a B, $560 billion industry. China is going to be fully compliant by the end of 2020. America, the US, is going to be fully compliant 5 years from now in 2025. 2025. The 5G revolution is not like the 4G. We were all excited with 4G, with the new towers and everything. 5G revolution is going to have 5G antennas every 300 feet. Because of the way 5G works, it cannot penetrate homes and trees just like 4G does. So it must be put in places, every lamppost, on top of homes, on top of trees, every 300 feet. It's evidenced by what is going on in China. China uses the 5G to spy on every one of its citizens. You hear me? Because the 5G towers are every 300 feet. There have been reports of 5G towers being burnt and torn down in Europe. When 5G came out in China, it has been reported that birds dropped out of the sky and just collapsed because it was a different frequency, because birds and animals work on frequency. Birds can fly from one place to another based on frequency. How do you know when the ducks come back from Capistrano? Because of the frequency. So people, ladies and gentlemen, 5G is here to stay, but you have to know how to maneuver. Like I say, you have to be a citizen scientist. Know the rules that protect yourself. Protect yourself, protect your family. I protect myself, I protect my family. I don't work on Wi-Fi. I work on Ethernet. My phone is on, yes, but at nights, I do airplane mode. Laptops, like I said earlier, get it off your laps. Put a cardboard or something, a book or something on there. It has been shown to cause infertility in men with laptops on your lap because it emits all the radio frequencies. So know the data for yourself. Look at the book on 5G by Dr. Joseph McCullough. It is devastating. It is that bad. Electromagnetic frequencies and RFs. Like I said, it's good and it's bad. So do the homework for yourself. Research it. But most of all, protect yourself and protect your family. Like I always say in all of my presentations, don't be an ordinary citizen. Be an extraordinary person. Become a citizen scientist. And remember, all lives matter. Trust me on that. All lives matter.